They change the future. That's the phrase, more or less, that was in my mind. Going back and changing the future, and or changing the future. We can change the future. And if you're a person who believes in predestination and stuff like this, things happen the way they're meant to happen and things like that. Hello, Apple Bricks, honey. Good morning. Things happen the way they're meant to happen. You can't stop what has been put in motion. To some extent, you can. There are powers that be in this world who look into the future. They do look into the future, and they plan some not so nice things. Not so nice things. This happens at the top, and it goes all the way down to the bottom. From the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Looking into the future, trying to change such said events in order to get a different outcome. And it happens. It happens. And before you say you can't change the future, what will be will be. I now don't agree with that. I used to agree with that, but I don't agree with that anymore. Because if you totally agree with that statement, you can't change the future, what's going to be will be, then you are not leaving room for divine intervention. You're not leaving room for divine intervention. It's the divine intervention that can change timelines, storylines, not so good storylines, not so good timelines. And you can do it too. You can do it too. Excuse me. With what's inside here. You can do it too because you are connected to the divine. You can do it from inside of here. You also are like a portal. Your intentions, your prayers, your thoughts can time travel into the future, to the one who holds the future, to the one who controls everything. So you can change it with divine intervention. There are things that have been planned out, things that can be planned out on a personal level and on a great big hierarchical level up here, way, way up here. All throughout our lives, in every areas of our lives, we know that the darkness is out there trying to intend bad, and it already has its plans, and it's just marching forward. It's marching forward with its plans, but guess what? The thing about its plans they can't change it. They can't change it. They have to literally go through, do their plans. They can't tweak them. They can't do nothing. And when they plan to succeed. That's where divine intervention comes in, because the divine intervention comes in, the light comes in, and it shatters their plan. They do not get the expected outcome that they were expecting. They don't. Their plans are literally brought to a halt. So they change the future. They can change the future. What can change the future? Divine intervention. The light can change the future. The dark tries to interfere with the future, because the dark also, this is really important. The darkness, the evil one, the Satan, the imps, the devils, whatever you want to call them, the great antagonists, it too can see into the future, and it makes its plans. It makes its plans because it wants to sow destruction. But there comes a point where the darkness knows that its plans, whether on an individual basis or a great big worldwide basis, their plans are thwarted. Their plans come to a complete halt, and their plans backfire on them. backfire on them. This is literally on a global scale, a worldwide scale, you all. So the phrase, you can't change the future. There's a song, you can't change the future. What will be, will be. I don't agree with that right now. I do not. Because I believe that prayer changes everything. The intention that comes from the inside of here changes everything, because it, right here, this divine light, this divine source within you, which is attached to, it's connected to the divine above. That's where your power comes from, right there. That's where the intervention comes from. If the enemy has planned ill for you, and if the darkness has planned ill for humanity, which we know the darkness is out there trying to wreak havoc in our lives, in our families, in our relationships, in our workplaces, all over the place, even like to wildlife, the environment, everything. The darkness does not have any good plans at all. And it's very, very boastful, the darkness is. Let's face it, the darkness doesn't feel like it can be defeated. It doesn't. Because it's already looked into the future. It's plotted its course all along the way. All along the way. So before you give up hope, you can change the future from in here, because you're connected to the divine, you're connected to God. Prayer changes everything. Everything. Meditation, positive meditation, loving meditation, the love inside you is world-shattering. It's world-changing. It changes circumstances, things, people. Yeah. Can you see it? They can change the future. The dark looks into the future with their little crystal balls, their mirrors, whatever you want to call it. They can see too. They do. It's like, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, for the devil has been cast down to you. He is full of fury. Why is he full of fury? Because he knows his time is short. So he knows the future. The darkness knows the future. But in the meantime, it's going to do all that it can to wreak havoc from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Everywhere you look, wreak havoc and cause destruction. But you do have the power within you through the power of prayer, through the power of meditation, positive thinking, love, whatever you want to call it. It's all love-based to change the intended outcome that the darkness seeks for you, or the darkness seeks for you in your workplace, the darkness seeks for the whole entire world. No. It can seek all at once, but that's where divine intervention has the right to come in and intervene whenever and at will. At will. You got to make your intentions on the inside of here clear, right there. Now, there are things that happen in our lives that there is no intervention that occurs, even though you may be praying about it, thinking about it. I wish this would stop, but it's allowed to continue. And it feels like you're getting broken down. You're broken. You wish the pain would stop. You wish the sorrow would stop. But if you could look back on your life, back in the past, all the stuff that you went through, if you could look in the past to where you are now, which is the future, you would realize if it weren't for those things, you would not grow into the person that you are today. You would not have the knowledge that you have inside of you. You would not have the experience. You would not have the understanding. You would not have the wisdom. You would not have grown spiritually strong on the inside of you had not all this stuff occurred. And you know it now. You know where your strength's coming from. And you know that that strength on the inside of you is connected to the higher power, the greater strength that is out there. That greater strength has the power to intervene, to change around the impossible, to bring forth the impossible out of a whatever impossible situation. It has the power at its own discretion to literally flip the tables. Flip the tables. flip the tables around. It's like the Proverbs. He who digs a pit will fall into it. That's like flipping it around. I'm going to dig this pit right here. I'm going to get them. I'm going to dig this pit. And they themselves end up falling into it. They end up falling into it. Just think of that on a massive scale. What's going on in the world is worldwide, and it wants us to lose hope. It wants us to think, the darkness wants us to think that all is lost. This energy out here wants us to think that you have no power here. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. The power is here, and it's on the inside of me. It's inside of you. It's inside of each and every one of us, and that power is the light of God's love. So when the darkness wants to say you have no power here, oh my gosh, no. And they think there's nothing you can do. No, you do have the power. Right there, it's love, L-O-V-E. And there's nothing that can stand up against it. When it's all said and done, nothing. So you too, through your prayer, through your meditation, through your positive thinking, your intentions, you can bring forth a change into the future. Your prayer, your willingness to pray, your belief, your faith, it can bring about a turning of the tables. A turning of the tables in your situation. Will it always happen like that? No, but sometimes it will. It will happen like that at some times. But with whether it happens or whether it don't, just look at it as an opportunity to grow, and you're not going to give up. You didn't give up back then, even though you may have wanted a different outcome in your life, and that different outcome didn't happen, and you had to go through some really rough patches. Then you're up here and you're a lot stronger. It was meant to make you stronger. It was. You are. Can we change the future? Absolutely, we can. That's where miracles happen. That's where divine intervention comes in. And the darkness can make its plans. The darkness can create havoc in your families, in your relationships, in your workplace. It can create havocs in the street, all over the place. But it can only go so far. All it takes is just one word or one thought from the divine to put a stop to it. And it can be localized. It can be localized. It can be precisely, boom, pointed in just one little spot all over the whole face of the earth. That's how precise it is. So it's not, all is not lost. It's not, can they change the future? They can change the future. We can change the future too, because we're connected to the one who holds the future. Okay, we are. Otherwise, we would not be here. Otherwise, your prayer would not work. Otherwise, those positive thoughts, that meditation you're doing, it would not work if you were not connected to the one who has control over the future. So I'm going to go. That was what's on my mind. They can change the future. God can change the future. That's where divine intervention intervenes. You got your plans. God's going to determine the footsteps. The divine is going to interfere and bring a stop to things in your life. Will it always happen that way? No. But a lot of times it does, and it's for your best. Whatever happens. So I'm going to go. And with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You don't have to give up. You don't have to throw your hands up in the air. You don't have to set the gloom and doom. It's already been pre-planned. That's okay. That's where divine intervention comes into play. That is where divine intervention comes into play. Jesus on the inside of you, that light on the inside of you. God, that light, that love on the inside of you. On the inside of you. Right there. Thank you all for your comments. You all, thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. You please give this video a thumbs up on your way out. You all go check out the other videos, because the energies are still here. The dark energy is still here. And your thoughts, we know if you change your attention, the energy will get directed in a different area. If you change the way you think about things and you start thinking more positive, you'll see the energy is going to flow toward the more positive, and it's going to combat the negative that you might have been thinking. You got opposites back and forth. So I'm going to go. You all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, moderators.